Yo, welcome back to my channel. This is DaLastSnow. You'll call me Snow for short. And I am here with another deck profile. And it's towards Gundam TCG first constructed deck tournament build. And why I'm actually saying first constructed because Gundam officially came out this weekend. And my first tournament was actually yesterday at my local spot, and I actually got first place. So this video is talking about my first place deck profile. I'm going to talk about each round, and after I speak about each round, we're definitely going to talk about all the why I play my deck profile the way I play it, and then we're just gonna take it from there. All right. So first round, I actually went 4-0. It was 14 players in the tournament. Um, 4 rounds. I actually went 4-0. First round, I actually got to play against a red and white matchup. Definitely was a good matchup. You know, red has a lot of pierce damage to attack power, and not attack power to health power, and at the same time, you know, it got actually has breach as well. So it's something that I actually really needed to worry about. But I came. It was definitely a good matchup. I just kept building up board. I'll try to dry out his hand since you know he's playing red, so there's not much draw power that he's coming out of that. Um, so I definitely applied the pressure that I needed to apply, and then you know he kind of like ran out of gas at the end of the game while I had so many bodies on the board. I think he had 5 bodies before he said he couldn't push anymore. But it definitely was a good matchup. So I got the win on the first round. Second round, I actually it was definitely blue and white mirror match because my deck build was actually blue and white. The only difference is that when it came to his deck build, he actually built a side of the grandpa build. So basically, it's a blue and white repaired grandpa build. So every time he summoned a body, it was actually repairing itself. If I didn't wipe it off the board, so it kind of got it kind of got on somewhat of annoying applying pressure, and if it wasn't enough pressure to actually eliminate the guy off the board, you know, he actually repaired himself 2 to 3 repairs because once you have multiple bodies on the board that actually has the repair, it definitely repairs 2 to 3 um, repair damage. So that definitely was good. But he kind of gassed out. He didn't get to see his pilots to actually, you know, swing on the same time they actually summon the bodies, the units on the board. So, you know, he kind of gassed out as well. So I definitely played it smart, controlled. Didn't go so aggressive, but, you know, I kept trying to apply pressure to his board. So, like that, you know, before he gets to get, you know, his pilots with the repair and resting my blockers and get to attack my board. So that's definitely was good. I got round 2 on that. Round 3, it was definitely a mirror match. Blue and white versus blue and white. He plays a couple of cards that different than mine's. So the thing is that when it comes to the card pool is not really as big when it comes to all 4 colors. But you definitely have variation of ways to actually build your deck. So it's definitely kind of interested to see what he played. Because you know a lot of people like to follow the trend of the Eggman tournament deck profiles, the top deck profiles, and stuff like that. And then you know me, I definitely just you know watch all these videos, sat down, played a couple of games, matches, used the app as well. And the app actually helps out as well. You know, wingtable.com is actually another way to actually practice, even though if it's computer. But at least you get the gist of how what cards to play, how to play the cards, when the cards effect activates and stuff like that. Because that's another thing that a lot of people are having issues with. If they don't really fully read what the card does. So I had to like stop them and let them know, hey, you can't do that. You could do this once per turn. Or this is link not pair, or this is pair not link, so you can't do the effect of the command card slash pilot, like stuff like that. So you know, it's still a learning basis, but definitely the matches was there. Like it went toe to toe and it was actually there. But the opponent for round 3 actually came 1 swing short. We both at 0 life, but he couldn't take me down because I still had 1 block on the board. He only had 2 swings, and he kind of misplayed because he thought the 2 drop Zoar can actually attack directly, but it can't. Zoar can only attack bodies slash units on the board. It cannot attack a player itself. So when he actually summoned, um, the Zoar was already on the board when he actually used the card, the pilot Amaro Ray, to boost up his swing, it definitely didn't help him because it wasn't gonna go anywhere. He still had enough to summon another body, even if he had another unit, and then let's just say the unit actually links with the pilot Amaro Ray. I had my Freedom Gundam on the board, ready to block, and then that would have been his last swing, and I would have been at 0 life. But he was already at 0 life. So my prior um, turn, I actually swung. Right, I still had my base to tap two to restand my Freedom Gundam. So I got to swing, put him down to 0. Still one swing short, but I got to restand my blocker. So now I had a blocker with 2 life. He had two Grandpa Gundams. I let him take the 2 swings, right? Leave me at 0 to maybe to pull off another base, and I didn't. The last 2 was actually just units, so they got to go to the discard pile. But I had to, I still had my block on the board, so it definitely was good to actually see that happen. And then the last round was against my boy Omega Z. We've been talking before the tournament. I've been going to his locals as well, going back and forth about deck builds and everything else. It was definitely a mirror match. He plays a couple of more of a pierce damage cards than I do. The draw power he definitely got at the beginning of the game. I got mine at the late of the game, so I kind of played it right to like try to burn out his hand attacking board. So like that, if we cancel each other out, we're starting from scratch again. So it didn't really matter. So that definitely was good. Definitely was a good matchup. It went to the wire, but I just had the right pieces that I needed to continue bouncing back his body on the board so they don't attack next turn. And then I forced him to block my swings, so like that he loses units off the board. So that definitely was good. Congratulations on Omega Z to getting second place. It's either me or my either him or myself actually win. It was definitely good because we just brought it back to the team. Um, so my that was definitely a 4-0, one red and white, and then 3 blue and white to matchups. So it definitely was good. Shout out to Buck as well. Um, Buck and Omega Z was actually there supporting me every step of the way. We were supporting each other every step of the way. Like if we finish our matchups, we got actually go to the other table to see what they was doing, to help to to see what they did, and then at the end of the matchup, we talk about what they did or what I did, and then we try to figure it out like how to adjust for the next round. So that definitely was good. So shout out to them. So let's talk about the deck profile. When it comes to Gundam, so you guys actually know Gundam, you can only lock into 50 cards in the deck. You can't go under and you can't go over. It has to be automatically 50 cards, which definitely kind of does justice because now you have to really know what type of ratio you're gonna be using when it comes to like deck building. So that's definitely what's going. So like I said, my deck build is a blue and white blocker build. So I'm definitely gonna talk about my deck profile right now. We're gonna start off with the pilots. I am playing 4 of the Amaro Ray. Hopefully you guys can see it because I see that my cover plastic is actually not showing the card. But Amaro Ray, definitely it's a level 4 1 cost. You already know what it does when it's summoned and it's actually on pair with a Gundam unit, not linked. So that's definitely a good part about this card. This is the best pilot in the game, hands down, because it gets the rest of a unit with 5 or less HP, health power, and rest it. So if you have a blocker, the only block on the board, I get to rest it and then I swing, and it gives a 2 +2 attack +1 health. So that's kind of building up um firepower to your one of your units. So definitely the best of the best, um hands down pilot in the game. Next up, I'm playing 4 of the Yamato. Why I always pronounce this guy so wrong? I apologize. But yeah, I'm playing 4 of these. He's definitely good as well. He gives you the same stat line as Amari, a +2 on attack, +1 on health. The difference is that Amari actually gives you a rest on the board, and this will actually gives you a -2 every time he swings. So it's every time he swings. So this is the hands down maybe the second best pilot in the game, because every time you swing with the unit that this is with, he gets a -2 off the anybody on the board. So like if you're trying to exchange with a unit on your opponent's side, you're definitely, you know, exchanging and then negging two of their attack power. So maybe you can actually survive off the swing, the battle damage, but your opponent is definitely gonna most likely die. Next up, I'm actually playing four of the banger links. A lot of people really thought when this card, when it came to the meta, with the beta kit when it came out, a lot of people hated this guy because everybody was just thinking about the link, what it links to, the Unicorn Gundam. Unicorn Gundam is a high of a cost, yada yada yada. But this actually helps out as well because it's a plus 2/2 attack power of 2 and is a health of 2. So this is actually helping out with any of the bodies on the board, even small bodies. You can actually build upon to it. So it's definitely good as well. And if you actually link it with a unicorn, you actually draw a card, which is not that bad. You're already playing the two colors that actually have draw power. To actually draw more, you get to see cards more often than before because you're actually linking them. But usually you're gonna be pairing this guy and to just to get the stat line of a 2/2. So that's it for my pilots, right? I'm playing 12 pilots. Next up, let's go with the commands. A lot of people play four of these, and I definitely don't. I'm actually playing three of the overflowing affection. It's a level 2 1 cause. You basically draw two cards and discard one card from your hand. So it's definitely good, but I just feel like it's kind of iffy using this early game. That's why I'm only playing three. I definitely don't want to see this as much, even though that's kind of sounds weird. But I just couldn't do it because let's just say you have a good hand, and it did happen to me in one of my matchups. I had a great hand. I tried to build up hand, use this, and then I ended up being stuck on like what to discard. So I ended up discarding one of card that I needed because the next card I actually drew actually matches up with the card that I discarded, which was horrible. But you know, it's definitely a good card because you get your hand size, and if you have a lot of cards on hand to use this late game or mid game, you won't have a problem discarding. But early game is got kind of rough. If you have a good hand, you got to be mindful of what you want to discard. Next up, I'm playing three of the A Show of Resolve. A lot of people play four of these as well. I actually cut it down to 3 and 3, and I'm gonna let you guys know why after this. But I'm definitely playing 3 and 3. I feel like it's still good to actually have the draw power, and this is actually for late game. As you can see, is a level 4 3 cost, and you draw two, basically a pot of greed, for Gundam. So definitely good. The one actually discard one after the draw two, but this one actually draws two. You actually keep your hand, so it's definitely good. Like if you don't have something on hand that you can actually deploy to the board, you can actually just draw two cards and maybe just skip a turn on summoning a unit. But definitely a good card. Reason why I cut it down to 3 and 3 because of this next card. I actually played two of these. Unforeseen incident. It's a level 3 1 cost command card on burst. Activate his main. You can activate our main on action. Choose one enemy unit, and it gets -3 attack power during the turn. This helps out a lot, a lot. Definitely because I got myself in exchanging with another unit in every single round, and activating this kind of shocked a lot of people because of the -3. So now my guy actually survives, but your guy don't. So now you have to sacrifice another body on the board to swing to my guy, but it's probably gonna cancel each other out. So now instead of resolving damage to my life and my base, you're actually gonna continue focusing on my board, which is gonna cancel yours. And now none of us has units on the board most likely, and we have to start from scratch. All right. So that's it for the commands. Now let's talk about the bases. I am playing two of the white base. Definitely one of the best, maybe the best base right now, which is a level 3/2 cost, 5 health power. So basically, once per turn you tap 2 energies, and then you can deploy a token. Depending on how many units you have on the board, it dictates on what you're gonna token is gonna be. So if you have no units on the board, you get to summon a 3/3 token Gundam, right? If you have one unit on the board, you get to summon a 2/2 token Um, and then if you have more than 2 units on a board, you get to summon a 1/1 token. So you're tapping two to just summon a token, and this actually helps out a lot because if you don't have no token, no not no token, no units on hand, and you're actually open field, you wanna use this every turn, tap into, because those small bodies is gonna come in handy on doing damage to your opponent. So this is definitely good to actually have, right? I had it at 3, but I had to cut it down because I wanted to put this base at 3. Archangel is definitely one or maybe the best base, be either one or the other. Is basically tapping two of your resources. I said energy, sorry, Dragon Ball Fusion World terminology, but tap two resources and you get to restand one of your blockers on the board. So that's definitely good because you get to swing, and this actually saved me yesterday on my third round because I got to swing at my opponent's health. Life. Put him down to one more swing, and then he loses. Tap this and restand Freedom Gundam. So that's definitely good. So I had it the other way around with 3 and 2, but I actually switched it up because I really want to make sure that if I apply aggression to my opponent, I want to make sure that I can actually restand a body on the board. So that's it for my bases. A lot of people play 6 bases. A lot of people play, excuse me, 4. It doesn't really matter. It all depends on what your deck build look like. So I feel like, excuse me, 5 is a good number. 4 should be fine, but you're playing kind of like a dangerous game if you're trying to use like more command cards maybe or more pilots. That will be the only reason why. But adding more units and don't have that many pilots kind of overkill, because then every unit is gonna have to wait one turn before it starts swinging. So next up, we're gonna talk about the units. I'm playing 4 of these. Zoar is a level 2 cost unit. It's a blocker. It's a 3 attack power, 2 health. Definitely one of the best early game blockers. The only bad thing about this card, and a lot of people made this mistake, I dealt with this each round, basically each round, because everybody had white in their deck except the championship round. But everybody tried to swing towards player when this comes to this card. You can't swing against player. This card can only swing at board. So that's the only bad part about this card. It's good because his 3 cost does a lot of damage, but it can't attack player. That's the only thing. But he could definitely be on the board to protect your shield or somebody on the board and actually deal damage. He's probably most likely gonna die, but early game it's actually an exchange. So like at my round 2, my opponent kept summoning Strike Dagger. I kept summoning him. He swung Strike Dagger. I blocked. Now we both canceled. Next turn, Strike Dagger again. I had another one of these. Block. Cancel again. Next turn, he didn't have a Strike Dagger. He summoned a blocker, but I already summoned one of the big units because I had the resource. So I was already at 4 resources, so I got to summon big bodies from there. Next up, I feel like this is the second best low cost blocker. Gundam Leaf or Lift, however you pronounce it, is a level 3 2 cost blocker, attack of 2, health power of 4, which most likely if you're blocking early game, he will probably survive at least one more turn before anything, and at the same time he can actually attack directly and use the base effect, the Archangel base effect to restand them again, tap into energies, and now you have a blocker. So that's definitely good as well. Either or, whichever 2 of that you have on the board that you can actually swing. If one of them survive and is the only blockers that you have on the board, and you have Archangel as a base, tap 2 energies, restand them. So now you have defense on your turn, on your opponent's turn. So that's definitely good to play. And I'm playing 4 of these. Next up, I'm playing 3 of the Rizzo. Is a level 3 2 cost vanilla, attack of 4, health power of 3. Reason why I actually play this card, as you can see, if you're playing a lot of mirror matches, which you most likely gonna end up playing, his health power is 3, his attack power is 4. The only difference is that this is gonna get destroyed, but he's actually gonna be still alive because his health is at 3, but his attack is at 2. So his health will be down to 1, but he will actually stay on the board. Is either your opponent's gonna swing at him, which most likely gonna cancel each other out because his attack power is actually at 4, which is definitely good. But you know, applying pressure early is definitely a good way to go, right? Then we're gonna play 2. I had it at 3, but now I got it at 2. Grandpa Gundams, level 4, 3 calls, repair 2 at the end of the turn, and during pair. Thank God it says during pair, which is good. During your turn, all your units get attack power of 2. So now Rezu goes into 5. If your opponent has a base of 5, he swings and gets to remove that you base off the board. So now you basically it's free eats after that, because now you could just swing with whatever um units you have on the board and don't have to worry about a base being there. And then his attack power is 3, health power of 4, so he most likely gonna end up you know, surviving probably 2 to 3 turns depending on how the damage goes. But he's definitely a good card to actually have, because on your turn he's giving +1 to everybody on the board. Right? Next up, I'm playing 2 of the Perfect Strike Gundam, level 5, 3 cost. It's a blocker. And on deploy, choose one enemy unit with 1 health power and return it to your owner's hand. So this definitely comes in handy late game, especially when everybody's just exchanging damages. At one point, people's gonna have just 1 health power. This comes in handy because they're gonna actually be in bounce back. And let's just say that bounce back don't even have a pilot, so now they have to summon it again with no pilot. If you don't have no pilot, so he's gonna have to wait 1 turn. Because of summoning sickness is definitely good. And then having the attack power of 4 with a health power of 4 is definitely a good. But maybe with one of your pilots that you actually pair it with, he actually could go 6 attack power, maybe to 5 or 6 health power depending who you pair with. Definitely a good blocker to have, especially if you swing, activate Archangel to restand him again. So that's definitely good to have. Next up, I'm only playing 1. I feel like 1 is good. Or you could actually switch it up. It doesn't really matter. But I definitely like it at 1 right now. I'm playing 1 Unicorn Gundam, level 5, 4 cost, during Link. This is the only one that actually says Link. During Link, when it's destroyed, return the unit paired pilot to your owner's hand and then discard 1 card. Definitely use this 2 out of the 4 rounds I actually played. I actually did this effect. With the card that I have in my deck, which we'll talk about it in a few. Um, Once it paired with which is Banger Links. Banger Links effect is once it's linked, you get to draw a card. This is the card that I was actually talking about. You get to draw a card, and at the same time, Unicorn Gundam turns into attack power 6, health power 5, which is going to be hard to remove unless you have a big unit actually swinging at him. But that big unit is going to take 6 cost damage, so just remember that as well. So maybe it's going to be even exchange, or maybe your opponent is going to die, or whatever the case may be. But that's definitely a good card to have. You don't have to play. A lot of people play 2, maybe 3. If you're going to do that, I guess just build a Unicorn build, because it's not good to have so many of these unless you actually have the Gundam Unicorn build, because this is too high of a cost for the attack that it has. Next up, I'm playing 4, or maybe one of the best blockers in the game, Airstrike Gundam, level 5, 4 cost. It's a blocker, and when paired with a level 4 or higher pilot, choose one enemy unit with 4 or less health power and return it to your opponent's hands. And that's an automatic effect. You cannot choose it. You have to automatically do it. So that's a good thing. So you get to bounce back, and then you get to swing with him when he's paired, right? With Kira. Kira will actually have him. It will be a link. So Kira will put him as a 6/5 unit. Swing at life or base if your opponent, or exchange with a unit that your opponent has on the field. But Kira actually -2 on the attack power every time he swings, so that's definitely good to exchange. He most likely end up surviving. Then you could tap 2 on the Archangel if you have it on the board. Tap 2, and then you get to restand him again. Next up, I am playing two. I wish I was playing three, but I only have two on hand right now. It's Freedom Gundam. Freedom Gundam is basically one of the best blockers in the game. Level 5, 5 cores blocker during pair once per turn. When you pair a pilot with a unit or more, one or your white units, choose one enemy unit, it gets -2 attack power. So this is definitely good, right? Because you can actually do it once per turn. Once per turn, every time there's a pair, not a link, a pair on the board, his effect pops off. So, and it doesn't have to just be himself. That's the good part about this card. Now it's -2 on something on the board, which is crazy. And at the same time, his link is Kira. Kira is already giving you -2. So now you're swinging something on the board and giving it -4. That is insane. That is definitely insane to have. Definitely one of the best, or not the best, blocker in the game. Freedom Gundam. And last but not least, I'm actually gonna be happy and satisfied to say I'm actually playing three of these to finish this off at 50 card deck. Is Unicorn Gundam Destroy Mode, level 7, 6 cost. Every time he attacks, he rests one unit on the board. The good thing about that, it doesn't have to be paired or anything. It's just every time he attacks, he rests a body on the board. So which is good. His stat line is attack power of 5, health power of 4. So his effect, which is definitely dangerous. So I'm playing one Unicorn Gundam, so his effect I don't really focus on. But if you're actually gonna do a Unicorn build, you can definitely do it like this, right? So let's just say you have the Unicorn Gundam on the board with the Banger Links. You get to draw a card, right? So you swing with the Unicorn Gundam, then you get to summon him by destroying your Unicorn Gundam. But remember, Unicorn Gundam's effect is if you destroy this, you get to bring back the pilot back to your hand, but discarding a card. So let's just say you did that already. This gets a free summon on the board. If you sacrifice this off the board to destroy, he gets to get summoned on the board for free. For free. But remember what I said with the pilot. The pilot comes back to your hand. But remember what's Unicorn Destroyer mode actually pilot 2, which is links. Now you get to add the pilot to this. You get to draw another card because it's a link pair. You get to draw another card and you get to swing this turn. And his stat line is going to be 7-6. It's not going to be easy to take him off the board. 7-6 on the same turn and he gets to rest the body on the board will do so much damage. So that's definitely good to have, and I'm playing three of. I feel like my ratio is definitely good. This is my deck profile that I actually won with yesterday. Went 4-0 undefeated at the first constructed Gundam TCG tournament. So I'm definitely happy about it. If you guys definitely like this deck profile, just like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Comment down below what you think you can have. There's another card that I definitely want to add to this deck. I'm gonna see if I can actually fit it in. But I definitely love this deck the way it is. But I'll probably tweak it 1 or 2 cards. But I definitely like this deck. So if you guys are interested on more deck profiles, just comment down below for more deck profiles and let me know what deck profile colors you want to be seen as a mixture. So definitely thank you for tuning into my channel. Hope you guys enjoyed my deck profile, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Latest.